Getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Diffuse, bond that can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win, apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, apply myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I am your gracious host, Carl, and I am back to give you your bowl season previews as well as your bowl recaps. I wanted to go live after the Gasparilla Bowl, and what a Gasparilla Bowl it was. Shockingly, as I'll get into later, we had Georgia Tech win that bowl game, and I say shockingly, like I said, I get into it later, but it was shocking to me because UCF got shut out in the second half. So, we will get into all that. But first, I would like for you to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share. It helps the network grow. It helps the channel grow. So please, if you like what you're listening to, like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you like this show, my show, CTC, the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave, which me and Tomo went live yesterday, gave y'all like a little, instead of a Sunday morning game day, we gave you a Thursday night game day preview because we got games tomorrow. We got games Sunday and we got games Monday. You got BWT baseball with Teddy, fantasy football with Coach Coombs. You got RBO Real Ballers Only with Javon. You got Dave's Doghouse. You got the Joe Jordan Show, and you have last but certainly not least in the red corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Fast Camp. So please like, comment, subscribe, share for all those shows on the network. And if you like what you're listening to, go down the rabbit hole, stick with us. All right. So we got to do our recaps first as I try to bring those up. Oops, clicked the wrong thing. First, we had Monday. What a game we had on Monday. Western Kentucky versus Old Dominion. And boy, did Old Dominion make me look like a fool. I picked Old Dominion to win this game, and I felt really good. They was up 28-7 at half. Oh, why is this not showing? There we go. They was up 28-7 at half. They went up 35-14, I believe even to like late in the fourth quarter. And Western Kentucky came storming back to force overtime and win 38-35 in overtime. I'm going to get into that. So first, I would like to say that Western Kentucky did start with Turner Helton. There we go. Turner Helton. He did get benched by like the second or third drive. He looked like the lights was a little too bright. He got benched for Caden Volkamp, and boy, did Caden Volkamp have a game. If you're not in these chats, become a member so you can be in these chats. Teddy, shout out my guy Teddy BWT. He was like, man, this game looked like a blowout. And I was like, yeah, man. This is a half. I'm like, yeah, man. But Caden Volkamp, he's really playing well. Like, ODU better not sleep because for real, they only benefiting off of Western Kentucky turnovers. Western Kentucky's offense looks like it's settling in and it's handling drives. Like, Western Kentucky's not out of this game. Like, they could very well get in this game. Sure enough, they got back in the game. They won the game. Yeah. So ODU starts with a 1-yard Isaiah Page touchdown run, which was really set up by a Grant Wilson 79-yard run. Then Western Kentucky starts with a Turner Helton fumble, which leads to a 5-yard Kadarius Callaway touchdown run. Then Turner Helton throws an interception, which was a pick six to Chris Kane. Shout out him. He's from the DMV, went to school in Waldorf, so he's from Waldorf, so shout out him. Western Kentucky's Craig Burt Jr. then fumbles, which will be his first of two fumbles, leads to a 11-yard Grant Wilson touchdown run. So that's up 28-zip. Then Western Kentucky will finally answer with a 14-yard Dalvin Smith touchdown catch. Dalvin Smith had a phenomenal game. Hell of a game by Dalvin Smith. That was set up by Easton Messer, two catches for 40 yards. Then with 9 seconds left in the second quarter, Caden Volkamp throws an interception. which would lead to a 47-yard field goal missed by Old Dominion. Now, this one was actually missed. It wasn't blocked. It wasn't none of that. It was just missed. Didn't have the leg power. It was on target. Just didn't have the leg power. Western Kentucky will start the second half with a Dalvin Smith 18-yard touchdown catch, which was set up by Caden Volkamp 28-yard run. Then ODU starts with a 3-and-out punt to start the second half. Then ODU will score a Grant Wilson 21-yard touchdown run, set up by Isaiah Page 42-yard catch. Western Kentucky would then answer with a 37 Elijah Young touchdown catch. Now, this was an amazing play. He made this look so effortless. Wide open down the sideline. I believe like a little wheel or maybe like swinging up, but caught the ball down the sideline, hurdled the guy, and the rest was just easy. Like the touchdown just looked so effortless for Elijah Young. By the way, when the running back I was trying to think about on Monday's show was Elijah Young. Could not remember his name for the life of me, but it was Elijah Young. Then ODU's Grant Wilson would throw an interception, just a deep ball. DB was all over it, on top of the receiver, beat the receiver to the ball. Looked like he ran the route for him. Catches the interception, which would lead to a 14-yard Dalvin Smith touchdown catch. Then Western Kentucky's Craig Bird Jr. would then fumble, but that would lead to a 47-yard field goal being blocked. And then this was so crazy. So Western Kentucky is driving to now tie the game and go into OT or go for two because we don't know what he's thinking at the time. Western Kentucky gets, I believe, sacked on third down to bring up 4th and goal from the 15. And KD Hutchinson is wide open. I mean, literally wide open on 4th and goal in the flat, not in the flat, but like towards the sideline, maybe 10 yards down the field. And he just walks in for a 15-yard touchdown on 4th and goal from the 15. Bad defense by ODU. ODU's down the stretch, just bad defense, could not get off the field. Leads Western Kentucky to set up overtime. In overtime, ODU has another field goal blocked. This one is from 23 yards. The field goal gets blocked. And then Western Kentucky gets in position. Well, obviously, they're already in field goal range with how college OT works. They just get it to a 29-yard field goal. The kick is good. Western Kentucky wins the famous Toastery Bowl. And, yeah, man, ODU makes me look like a fool, blows the game. They absolutely blew it. Shout out to Western Kentucky, though, for coming back, not giving up, rallying behind Volkamp, who, if he stays at Western Kentucky, might be the starter coming into next year. He might have just won himself a starting job at Western Kentucky off his bowl game. So shout out to him. We move on to the battle of the backups. Frank Harris did not play, in fact. So it was UTSA turned to Owen McCown. Going against Cole Pennington. Yes, if these two names sound familiar, both of their fathers did play quarterback in the league. Cole's father, Chad. I want to say Owen's father is Josh. I'm not 100% sure. It's either, obviously with Josh or Luke. I'm going to Google it real quick. It is Josh. Yep, Josh McCown's son. So shout out to them, trying to move forward from their father's legacies. And UTSA would win the game 35-17. I picked UTSA to win. Now, I did pick them to win with Frank Harris. I just thought UTSA was the better team here. And they still won with no Frank Harris. UTSA starts with a 3-and-out punt while Marshall starts with the punt. UTSA, Owen McCown would then throw a pick, which would lead to an Ethan Payne 1-yard touchdown run. With 3:49 left in the first quarter, Owen McCown would throw an interception, which would lead to a 3-and-out punt. Marshall's on their next drive would score a 64-yard Rasheed Ali touchdown run. He just broke it. This is the best player on their offense. He came to play first half. UCSA would answer with a 3-yard Robert Henry touchdown run. Set up by one of the guys I talked about in the pregame or Monday's pre-show, Tyke Ogle Kellogg, the big receiver. I think he's like 6'5". He had a 41-yard catch. Then UTSA would then score a Josh Cephas, another guy I talked about, 44-yard touchdown catch set up by Owen McCown, who had a 26-yard run. Marshall would answer with a 44-yard field goal. UTSA would answer with a 1-yard Robert Henry touchdown run. And that was on the 13-play drive. And then Marshall would start the second half with a 53-yard field goal miss, which would lead to an Owen McCown sack fumble, which would lead to a Marshall turnover on downs, 4th and 4, passes incomplete, which would lead to a 19-yard David Amadeer touchdown catch. With 14-19 left in the fourth quarter, Marshall 34-yard field goal is missed, which would lead to a 3-and-out punt. Marshall would then have a Colin Perchek interception, which would lead to a Rocco Griffin 17-yard touchdown run. Then UTSA would end the game with the turnover on downs 4th and 3. Rocco Griffin with a 2-yard catch. But it wouldn't be no harm, no foul because that would lead to the end of the game. Marshall would not be able to score. Marshall gets shut out in the second half. Again, UTSA wins with a final score of 35-17. Now, UTSA started off slow, going down 14-0 early. I thought I was like, Owen McCown. I don't know. Frank Harris, I feel like I would be more confident, but Owen McCown, he led 2 touchdown drives, tied it up. UTSA would take the lead. UTSA would eventually win. Outscoring Marshall 14 zip, I believe, in the second half. So kudos to UTSA for winning the Frisco Bowl. Next, we had the Boca Raton Bowl, which was last night. The Boca Raton Bowl, which I'm not going to speak too much in. But this is what I will say. So before I got on the show, did my little research, whatever. My gut, everything told me USF will win this game. But then I seen some numbers. And the number I did talk about was USF's terrible run defense. That swayed my opinion from USF to Syracuse. Boy, I normally don't do that. Like, I look at numbers, but I normally go with my eye test and my gut. And the eye test of my gut told me USF. Byron Brown, really great year. Dynamic offense. Syracuse, so inconsistent. But the one thing they could do was run the ball. And LeQuint Allen being there led me to think that they'll be able to establish the run. Syracuse only had 20 rushing yards the entire game. 20. So, yeah. USF wins 45-0. I picked Syracuse. That was my pick on the show, so that's what I had to stick with. Should have stuck with my gut. Didn't do it, and I paid the price. I look like a fool. Syracuse gets shut out. Just some numbers. Just a couple quick notes. Syracuse was only 20 rushing yards. USF 1 turnover to Syracuse's 4 turnovers, 2 picks, 2 fumbles. USF went 5 of 15 on third down, while Syracuse went 1 of 17 on third down. Syracuse only 159 total yards on the day. So USF just straight up dominated. And Byron Brown and Sean Atkins had great games. Sean Atkins almost 100 yards. Byron Brown 217 through the air. I believe 3 touchdowns, no picks. So great game by USF. Just straight dominated Syracuse. Now the last game I have to recap is the game that we just had tonight. The Gasparilla Bowl, which Georgia Tech wins 30-17, shutting out UCF in the second half. The game was tied 17-17 at halftime. Georgia Tech scores 13 unanswered to win the game. Now, I did pick UCF to win. I did think UCF was able to score. And the way UCF came out the first 2 drives, I was looking sweet. Came out, first drive, UCF starts with a 23-yard Javon Baker touchdown catch, set up by Xavier Townsend, 47-yard kickoff return. Hey, the drive looks super easy. They got to stop. Georgia Tech starts with a punt. UCF then will score a 17-yard Kobe Hudson touchdown catch, set up by Javon Baker, 2 catches for 50 yards. I'm thinking, okay, 14 zip. But this is what I was thinking. I was thinking Georgia Tech isn't out of this. Like, it's not like UCF is going to run away with it. Like, I instantly saw Syracuse, USF, and I thought USF was going to run away with it after a while. This game, I said, nah. Georgia Tech is going to be in it. It's going to be closer. I did think UCF going to 14 zip was good for my UCF prediction. But I'm like, nah, they're not going to just go away that easy. Second of all, UCF defense is not going to allow them to go away that easy. But UCF can continue to score. I liked what I saw. Then UCF's RJ Harvey would fumble, which would lead to Georgia Tech getting a 36-yard field goal. UCF would then answer with a 27-yard field goal. But then Georgia Tech finally got some legs on offense, scores a 5-yard Haynes King touchdown run, set up by Dylan Leonard, 29-yard catch. Then Georgia Tech will score a 41-yard Malik Rutherford touchdown catch to tie the ball game. UCF would miss a 30-yard field goal right before the half. Honestly, nothing. You just missed. Laces was in the right spot. Looked like a good snap, good hold. Just missed the field goal. Then to come out in the second half, Georgia Tech would score a 29-yard field goal to start the second half, while UCF would start with a 4th and 11 turnover on down. So they had a 4th and 1, actually got it, but Holden calls it back. And I guess because the kicker missed right before the half from 30, Gus Malzahn didn't have trust in them because they were in field goal range, clear field goal range. They went for it on 4th and 11. The pass was incomplete, and that would lead to a Haynes King interception on the sideline on a deep ball. But ultimately, that would lead to a UCF punt. Then Georgia Tech would score a 1-yard Dante Smith touchdown run, set up by Haynes King 17-yard run with a horse collar at the end of that run. That was half the distance to the goal. Georgia Tech would score a 38-yard field goal. The UCF would turn the ball over on downs on 4th and 4. Timmy McClain would have a pass. His pass incomplete, which would lead to a 3-and-out punt. Then Timmy McClain would cap it off with an interception, which would lead to the end of the ball game. So again, your final score was 30-17. Georgia Tech clamped down on defense. Yeah, they allowed UCF to be in field goal range a couple times, but UCF with some self-inflicted wounds, going for it on 4th and 11. I feel like you have to trust your kicker there. First of all, 4th and 11 is way too far to go for it, one play. Second of all, I mean, what message did that send to the kicker? You missed once, now we don't believe in you no more. I think that was a real bad decision. I think you kick that in that situation. If he misses, hey, then, okay, we know we can't kick no more. But at least give your man a second chance. Third thing I came away with, UCF needs a defensive coordinator. They need one badly. Georgia Tech was getting a lot, getting everything, anything they wanted for real. Besides like the first 2 drives, after that, it became easy. They ran the ball a lot. UCF could not stop the run. Haynes King didn't kill him through the ground. Through the air. I don't think Haynes King even had 100 yards. If he did, he barely had 100 yards. They were just killing him through the ground. The point blank period. It was just a run fest for Georgia Tech. UCF had no answers. Haynes King ended with 87 passing yards, 7 of 13, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Did not kill him through the air. But Haynes King also has 12 carries for 89 yards and a touchdown through the ground. Jamal Haynes with a spectacular game, 18 carries, 128 yards, no touchdowns, but hey, average 7.1 carries yards per carry. Hey, man, UCF is going to have to step it up defensively next year. I know they're in the Big 12 where they barely play any defense, but UCF want to get anything accomplished next year. Guess Malzahn has to get a defensive coordinator. They have to play defense at UCF. But that is it for my bowl game recaps. I'm on to my bowl game previews. And the first game we have for y'all tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we have the 76 Birmingham Bowl featuring Troy versus Duke. Now, for Troy, we have 8 this game you can find at 12 o'clock on ABC. I will be at work, but I will be trying to watch as much as I can. Troy has 8 opt-outs, but Kamani Vidal will play. We'll have to establish, say, Kamani Vidal. I believe he was the league leader in rushing in the Sun Belt, I believe. I know he broke Troy's record for the most yards at Troy history. Have to stop the Duke run game. Now, I say that because Riley Leonard is gone. I believe Grayson Loftus is projected to start. Have to stop the run game and force Grayson Loftus to beat you. Now for Duke has 11 opt-outs. 2 huge opt-outs are, again, Riley Leonard and Jordan Waters. Now, Jaquez Moore has removed his name from the transfer portal. He will be, they say he can play. He will be available to play, or he may be available to play, I should say. They do have to stop Kamani Vidal, as I mentioned, for Troy having to get him established. And they have to prevent the Chris Lewis big plays. I've said it before. Troy, when they need a big play through the air, Chris Lewis is the guy they normally dial up. Duke has to prevent that. With that being said, I am leaning Troy to win this game. Both teams have a pretty stout defense, but I believe in Troy's defense more than I believe in Duke's. I believe in Troy's quarterback, Gunnar Watson, more than I believe in projecting to be Grayson Loftus. And I trust Kamani Vidal. I like Jaquez Moore, don't get me wrong, but I love Kamani Vidal. So I'm going to take Troy in this one to win this bowl game. I think Troy established the run better. I think Troy plays better defense in this game. Also, which also needs to be mentioned, both teams, I believe, are without their head coaches. I believe Mike Elko is not coaching because he has accepted a job. I believe he accepted the Texas A&M job. I don't remember what job the Troy head coach took. Let me Google that real quick. I know he took a new job somewhere else. Nope, that's Troy's new head coach. I can't remember Troy's old head coach's name. So that's what. Oh my God, I feel so bad. I forgot his name because he's actually been a really good head coach. Oh my God! So Troy's new head coach is Gerard Parker, the OC from Notre Dame. Which I don't even know who's coaching tomorrow. Just like Syracuse new coach did not coach Thursday in the Boca Raton Bowl. Don't think that Gerard Parker will be coaching. 1 second. Right, boom. So Troy's head coach was John Summerall, and he is now gone. He is now. I want to say he took like another. Yeah, he took the Tulane job. I'm supposed to say another group of five school. Yep, he took the Tulane job. Willie Fritz has left Tulane, so that's where Summerall is now. So yeah, that's also big that both head coaches are no longer there. Elko no longer in Duke. Manny Diaz will take over. I don't think Manny Diaz is coaching, and Summerall is no longer at Troy. We move on to the Camilla Bowl, Arkansas State at Northern Illinois, Saturday, 12 o'clock on ESPN. Arkansas State has 6 bowl opt-outs. Arkansas State will have to force a Rocky Lombardi interception or 2. They will have to try to contain Antero Brown from the running back from Northern Illinois. Jalen Rayner has to take care of the football, the quarterback for Arkansas State. He has to take care of the ball, especially if you're able to force that Rocky Lombardi interception. Now, and they have to establish Jaquez Cross to open up the pass game. Jaquez Cross is the running back for Arkansas State. NIU, on the other hand, has 13 opt-outs. It would have been 14, but Trayvon Rudolph has withdrew his name from the transfer portal, and he can play tomorrow. Rocky Lombardi has to take care of the football as well for Northern Illinois to be successful. Rocky Lombardi has to, Antero Brown has to be, they have to feed him. They got to get him going. It will take a lot of pressure off of Rocky Lombardi, which, by the way, Rocky Lombardi is a vet guy. Y'all know I don't like to use the word vet, but I still haven't found a word for it, so got to use it. He's played in bowl games in the past. He's played in championship games in the past. And they have to feed Trayvon Rudolph. He has removed his name. He's withdrawn his name. He is now playing for y'all. Got to use him. Got to give him the rock. But with that being said, I am leaning on Northern Illinois to win this game Saturday in the Camilla Bowl. And I was getting into it. I'm mainly putting my trust into Rocky Lombardi. The former Spartan, yes, I know, but nobody's here. Like I said, man, I just think he's the more veteran guy. He's played in this situation. He's been here. Trayvon Rudolph has been in this situation. So I think they will pull it off against Arkansas State. And I believe this is technically by the betting odds and upset. So I think they, quote, unquote, get the upset. It's not really an upset, but like I said, due to the betting odds, upset. So moving on, we have one of my favorite teams this year, JMU, in the Armed Forces Bowl. Armed Forces Bowl, James Madison versus Air Force. You can catch this game Saturday, 3:30 on ABC. JMU with just 2 opt-outs. And when I be saying opt-outs, I mean like either transfer portal, not playing due to draft, stuff like that. So they have a bunch of guys in the transfer portal, but they're still allowed to play, and they will play. Huge guys that's in the transfer portal that are playing are Jordan McLeod, the quarterback, Tyson Lawton, the running back, and Elijah Surratt, the wide receiver. They have to play sound gap football on the defensive side of the ball, as y'all already know. Going against option teams, military academies, you gotta play gap football. You cannot be undisciplined. You cannot be out your gaps, because the moment you jump out of your gap, the moment you try to play hero ball is the moment they're taking it for 40 yards, 50 yards, and a tug. So, gotta play sound gap football against option teams. And you got to force Air Force in 3rd and long situations. Get them uncomfortable. They don't like to throw the ball. They like to run the ball down your throat. You get them in 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 13s. Get them uncomfortable. You may even force them to maybe have to throw the ball, depending on what how late in the game it is, what situations are in the game, score, things like that. Now for Air Force has 8 opt-outs. And I looked, and so far, I've seen that Zach Larrier does have a possibility to play tomorrow. I saw that he's looking to be the starter tomorrow. So if he's not, hey, look, I tried. Y'all know, I tell you all the time, y'all know what it is with college football injuries and stuff like that. It's hard to come by. But I did see that he is looking to start tomorrow. They have to stay ahead of the chain, so can't be in 2nd and 10s, 3rd and 9s. Got to be more so 2nd and 6s, 2nd and 5s, 3rd and 1s, stuff like that. I know Air Force academies do tend to go for it on 4th and shorts as well, due to the type of offenses they run. have to block Jalen Green, the defensive end for JMU, the stud defensive end for JMU. I've been talking about Jalen Green all year. I think he's a dog at that edge spot, so have to block him. And I said, this is just a little personal opinion. I say don't be afraid to throw the football, man. Especially if Zach is back. Don't be afraid to throw the football because it will catch JMU off guard. If you mix it in here and there, run some couple concepts. You had times bowl season. We're on week 2 of bowl season. I think they haven't played since November 25th. It is now December 23rd of recording, morning of December 23rd. So you done had almost a month to put in some passing concepts to shake the defense of JMU up. So I think that's what they should have been doing. But I'm going to roll with JMU in this one. JMU is a really good team. Lost one game all year, and that one game was to App State in overtime. I think OT, double OT. I know it was in overtime. I just don't remember if it was OT or double OT. Air Force has been actually on the bottom, like on a downward spiral of late. Now, again, the site that I was getting some news from said that McLeod and them can play. It lists them as in the transfer portal, but they can play. So if they don't play, hey man, I got some bad info. But if they do play, I got some good info. But if they are playing, I am going with JMU to win this game. The next bowl we have is the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. We have Georgia State versus Utah State Saturday, 3:30 on ESPN. Now for Georgia State, they have 13 opt-outs. Their major opt-out, well, the two huge ones are Marcus Carroll, who I believe did transfer to Mizzou, and Robert Lewis, which I don't think he committed yet. So Darren Granger will have more to shoulder this tomorrow in the basically later tonight later today in the Idaho Potato Bowl. Who will step up at receiver because Robert Lewis is like the leading receiver by far. Somebody else has to step up. And they have to stop Jalen Royals, Terrell Vaughn, the two playmakers on the outside for Utah State. Now for Utah State, they have 6 opt-outs. Cooper Leggers has to take care of the ball. And he has to use his legs. He has to be dynamic. He has to keep the Georgia State defense off balance. Don't allow Darren Granger to use his legs. I know I said it a couple times. There's been a couple times where Darren Granger has sparked the run game himself. Now he's definitely going to be relied upon to spark the run game. Due to the fact that he no longer has Marcus Carroll. Marcus Carroll, again, is now gone. So he's going to be relied heavily in the run game. Have to establish Devon Booth, running back for the Aggies, Utah State, and they had to get the ball to their playmakers on the perimeter. Again, Terrell Vaughn and Jalen Royals. Got to get them the ball on the perimeter, allow them to get, especially Terrell Vaughn, allow Terrell Vaughn to get in open space, make guys miss, use that speed to go. You can even use Terrell Vaughn on jet sweeps, things like that, handling the football, stuff like that. You got to get him in open space. Now, I believe I like both coaches as well for these two teams. Sean Elliott of Georgia State and Blake Anderson for Utah State. Blake Anderson 2 years ago, again, won the Mountain West Conference bowl games. I believe I don't know if they made the bowl game last year. I don't know if they made a bowl game last year. I don't think they did. But I know they made one 2 years ago, made another one. Both of them are great coaches. Both coaches will have their teams ready. But I'm going to take Utah State in this one. I think losing Marcus Carroll is a huge blow for Georgia State. I know Sean Elliott is a great coach, but again, he's going against another great coach, Blake Anderson. I think Utah State has more of their weapons intact, so I'm going to roll with Utah State in this one. Now we move on to the 68 Ventures Bowl, South Alabama versus Eastern Michigan, Saturday, 7 o'clock on ESPN. We have Southern Alabama versus Eastern Michigan. For Southern Alabama, they only have 4 opt-outs, but the main one of the 4 being Carlin Lacey, who has transferred to Louisville. Louisville has been making great moves in the transfer portal. This being one of them. So now they will rely heavily on LaDamian Webb, the stud running back for South Alabama. Someone will have to step up at wide receiver. There's a huge gap. I believe Carlin Lacey had 1,300 yards, and I think the next best is like 7. I'm going to double check that for y'all. But I believe that's what I saw earlier in the day. So Kalen Lacey has 1316. The next is with 756 yards, Jamal Pritchett. So not almost double, but like 600 yards more. or 500 and some change. Somebody's going to have to step up here. And they have to stop Samson Evans, the running back from Eastern Michigan. Now, for Eastern Michigan, they have 7 total opt-outs, including Austin Smith, who is in the transfer portal. So Ike Edungu is in line to start. That's what I didn't see anyone in line to start, but he does have stats, so I'm assuming they're going to turn to him. I did see that Austin Smith is not available, so he's gone. He's in the transfer portal. They will rely heavily on Samson Evans and Tanner Cooney, or Kune, the wide receiver for Eastern Michigan. They have to turn Carter Bradley, the quarterback for Southern Alabama, over multiple times, in my opinion, because if they don't, it's going to be a blowout, and it's going to be a blowout fast. I don't think they'll get stops. I think they need to force turnovers. And they have to stop little Damian Webb, which not a lot of teams have been able to do. Barely a few has been able to do that. So they're going to have to do the impossible here. But, I mean, y'all know I'm rolling with South Alabama. And LaDamian Webb is just a force. Eastern Michigan, I don't think they're going to put up a lot of points, especially when they're missing their starting quarterback and we're barely able to put up points with him. I think South Alabama just rolls through Eastern Michigan. So I'm going to roll with South Alabama. The next bowl we have is the Las Vegas Bowl. We have Utah versus Northwestern. Nice little Pac-12 versus Big Ten matchup here. So this game you can catch Saturday. I forgot to write it down. I believe this one's Saturday, ABC at 7. Forgot to write this one down, as the arrow is not working right now. I don't know why. Come on, man. I know it's a 7 o'clock game. I just don't know. Yep, 7:30. Excuse me, ABC tomorrow. ABC on at 7:30. Now Utah has 14 opt-outs. Now Bryson Barnes is in the transfer portal, but he is available to play tomorrow, and they're saying he will. I know Nate Johnson transferred to Vanderbilt, so he's like the only quarterback they have left. Because Cam Rising ain't coming out and suiting up. He's done, so Bryson Barnes will be able to play. I think Sione Vaki will have to play both sides of the ball, offense and defense. They have to get Jaquindon Jackson going at the running back spot. And Bryson Barnes has to have no turnovers in this game because Northwestern is coming in hot. Speaking of Northwestern with only 4 opt-outs, I didn't pick Northwestern to be here at the end of the year. Not saying this specific bowl game. I'm just talking about bowl season period, finishing 7-5. Northwestern is, like I said, riding the hot streak, winning the last 4 of 5 games to become bowl eligible. Well, they became bowl eligible with a game to spare, but still, winning 4 of their last 5, the one loss being to Iowa in the 10-7 matchup. Iowa with a spectacular defense. Ben Bryant has to continue to play well. He has been a catalyst behind this Northwestern 4 out of 5 game streak. Have to win the turnover battle. Bryson Barnes has been known to or be prone to some turnovers. Have to create them there and find ways to score against this tough Utah defense. Now, I originally thought Bryson Barnes wasn't playing, so I was originally picking Northwestern. I think I'm going to stick with Northwestern. I'm gonna go Utah. But what I will say is this: I'm gonna pick Utah to win. I'm gonna take Northwestern in the 6.5 points. Honestly, I have no reason between picking Utah over Northwestern. I think this game can go either way. I just think Utah. I like Kyle Whittingham as a coach. I think he had these guys ready. I think I'm gonna take Utah in a close one. Take Northwestern plus the 6.5 though. And our final bowl game is the Hawaii Bowl between Coastal Carolina and San Jose State. Coastal Carolina has a plethora of opt-outs entering the transfer portal, including Grayson McCall, who is now set to go to NC State. Wanted him to come to South Carolina, but hey, he went to NC State. Good luck there. Have to start Kyrie Robinson and contain Chavon Cordero, the quarterback for San Jose State, who, if y'all remember earlier in the year, I like Chavon Cordero, but I think he could be much better if he used his legs. Ethan Vasco and Sam Pinkney, which I thought Sam Pinkney entered the trade and transfer portal, but I didn't see his name there. So they will have to have huge games for Coastal Carolina to have a chance in this ball game. Now for San Jose State, they only have 4 opt-outs. They only have 4. Chavon Cordero, like I said, he has to use his legs. I think he will be much more effective if he runs the rock. Kyrie Robinson needs to be force-fed the rock as well. And Cordero needs to find his roommate, former quarterback Nick Nash, now at wide receiver. I believe he was the lead receiver for this team. And they have to expect the unexpected because they have so many opt-outs. You don't know what's going to happen with Coastal. You don't know if they're going to be passing heavy, running heavy. I believe they're still going to be run heavy. You don't know what kind. They might switch it up because it's so much going on. They lost so much that they you don't know what to expect. But I'm picking San Jose State to win the Hawaii Bowl. The game is Saturday at 10:30. I think that actually fits San Jose State's time zone. Being a Western team, Coastal might be maybe a little jet lag playing that late. So give me San Jose State to win that game. And with that being said, that is all I have for y'all tonight. That's all the bowl games for Saturday. I should be back Christmas Day. Well, I'll be back Sunday to recap all these Saturday bowl games. And then I'll let y'all know from there when I'll be back to give you your previews for the weekday of bowl season, week 3. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night or get you some sleep, whatever you choose to do. I will be back Sunday. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.